Hi, welcome to this Corbettmaths video. In this video, we're going to look at the video solutions to the population density practice questions. If you need any extra help on population density, if you go to corbettmaths.com/contents and scroll down to video number 384A, that's the video tutorial on population density. Alternatively, you could scan this QR code and bring you straight to that video. Okay, so let's get started. So let's have a look at question number 1. So question number 1 says, Maria says the population density is found by dividing area by the population. Do you agree, and explain why? Now, whenever we're looking at population density, whether it's of a country or a city, or whether it's the population density of maybe an animal on an island or something like that, what we're doing is we're looking to see how many of the, how many people or how many of the animal or whatever lives in a given area. So to find that, we would divide the population by the area. So actually, population density isn't found by dividing the area by the population, it's found by dividing the population by the area. So let's explain that. So I've written, no, population density is found by dividing the population by the area. And here's the formula, population density equals population divided by area. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at question number 2. So question number 2 says, 800 people live in a village, and the area of the village is 10 square kilometres. Work out the population density of the village. So to find the population density, we're going to divide the population, 800, by the area, which is 10. So if we do 800 divided by 10, that's equal to 80. So that means that if the population was shared out equally amongst each of the square kilometres, each of the 10 square kilometres, there'd be 80 people in each square kilometre. So that's the population density, 80 people per square kilometre. Okay, let's have a look at question number 3. Okay, question number 3. Question number 3 says the population of birds that live on an island is 3,200, and the population density of the birds on the island is 200 birds per square kilometre. Work out the area of the island. So in each square kilometre, if the birds were shared out equally amongst the area, there'd be 200 in each square kilometre, and there's 3,200 altogether. So if we do the population, the 3,200, and divide that by the population density, the 200, that would tell us how many square kilometres there'll be. So we're going to do 3,200 divided by 200, and that's equal to, now this is a non-calculator question, so let's just quickly do our method, our 3,200 divided by 200. So how many 200s are in 3? 0. So that means then we'll put our 3 there to make 32. How many 200s are in 32? 0. We'll move our 32 there to make now 320. How many 200s are in 320? 1. Remainder 120. And then how many 200s are in 1,200? That would be 6. So the answer is 16. So 3,200 divided by 200 is 16. So that means that the area of the island is 16 square kilometres, or 16 kilometres squared. And that makes sense because the population density is 200 birds per square kilometre. If there was 16 square kilometres and those birds were each, those 200 birds were each in a square kilometre, that would be 16 lots of 200, which gives us our population of 3,200. Okay, question number 4. The population density of a housing estate is 900 people per square kilometre. So in each square kilometre, if they're all shared out equally, there'd be 900 people in each square kilometre. And the area of the housing estate is 3 square kilometres. Work out the population of the housing estate. So work out the total population. We're going to multiply the area by the population density. And that'll tell us how many people there'll be in total. So if we take our 900 and multiply that by 3, that'll give us 2,700. So in each one of the square kilometres, there is on average 900 people. If there's 3 square kilometres, that'll be 3 lots of 900, which is 2,700. So the population of the housing estate is 2,700. Okay, question number 5. Okay, question number 5. Question number 5 says the population of a country is 380,000 people, and the country's population density is 9 people per square mile. So in other words, if we had the country and we divided it into square miles and we shared the population out equally into each one of those square miles, there'd be 9 people in each square mile. And we've been asked to work out the area for the country. So what we know is if we've got all these square miles and there's 9 people in each of them, if we divide the population, the 380,000 by 9, that would tell us how many square miles there'll be, and that'll be the area of the country. Alternatively, you could just divide the population by the population density. So let's do that. So let's take our 380,000 and we're going to divide it by 9, and that will tell us the area of the country. And this is a calculator question. So 380,000 divided by 9 is equal to 42,222.2 reoccurring square miles. So that's the area of the country. 42,222.2 reoccurring. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at question number 6. So question number 6 says the area of County Durham is 2,720 square kilometres and the population density of County Durham in 2021 was 318.6 people per square kilometre. And we've been asked to work out the population of County Durham in 2021, and this is a calculator question. So County Durham is 2,720 square kilometres. So if we were to divide the county up into square kilometres, there'd be 2,720 squares that are 1 square kilometre. And in each one of those squares, if we were to share the population out equally amongst each of those squares, there'd be 318.6 people. Don't worry about the 0.6, we'll multiply in a minute. And so that means that we know how many people will be each one of those squares if we share them out equally. So if we just multiply that 318.6, the population density, by the area, that will give us the population. If we take our 318.6 and we multiply it by the area, 2,720, that will give us the population of County Durham in 2021. And that's equal to 866,592. So that was the population of County Durham in 2021. Okay, question number 7. So question number 7 says the population of a city is 496,784. I think the city may have been Liverpool whenever I was making this question up. And the area of the city is 43.17 square miles. And we've been asked to work out the population density of the city and to give our answer to 1 decimal place. Because we've been told to give our answer to 1 decimal place, it would maybe suggest that we're going to do our division using our calculator, and it's going to be a decimal number that's going to be, have lots of different numbers, and we're going to have to round it. Okay, let's have a look at our question. So we know the population, so we know how many people there are, and we know the area of the city, 43.17 square miles. So if we divide the population by the area, we'll find the population density. So 496,784, and if we divide that by 43.17, that would tell us how many people will be in each one of those square miles. So if we divide the number of people by how many square miles there are, that would tell us how many people, if we were to share them out equally amongst each one of the square miles, how many people will be in each one of those. So let's see what we get. And that's equal to 11,507.62103. So we've been asked to round that to 1 decimal place, so our answer will be 11,507.6. Okay, let's have a look at question number 8. So question number 8 says, shown below is information about Australia and New Zealand in 2022. And we've got this table, and we've got Australia and New Zealand, and we've got their areas and their populations. And Danny says the population density of Australia is 5 times greater than the population density of New Zealand. Is Danny correct? To explain your answer. So in this question, Danny's saying that the population density of Australia is 5 times greater than the population density of New Zealand. Well, we're going to need to work out what the population densities are then of Australia and New Zealand. And to do that, we're going to divide the population by the area. So in other words, if we take our 26 million Australians and we were to share them out equally amongst each one of the 7,620,000 square kilometres, how many people would be in each square kilometre? And we'll do the same for New Zealand, and then that will be our population densities, and then we can compare them and see, is the population density for Australia 5 times greater than the population density for New Zealand? Okay, so let's get started. So let's start off with Australia. So the population of Australia is 26 million. And we're going to divide that by the area, which is 7,620,000 square kilometres, and that will give us our population density of Australia. And that's equal to 3.412 people per square kilometre, So if we were to share out the population equally amongst each of those square kilometres, there'd be 3.412 people per square kilometre. So that's the population density of Australia. Now let's do the same for New Zealand. So the population of New Zealand is 5,200,000 people, and we're going to divide that by the area, which is 268,000 square kilometres, and let's see what we get. And that's equal to 19.403 people per square kilometre. So as you can see, the population density of New Zealand is much greater than the population density of Australia. And let's see how many times greater it is. So let's divide the population density of New Zealand, so the 19.403, by the population density of Australia and see how many times greater it actually is. and that's equal to 5.687. So the population density of New Zealand is approximately 5.687 times greater than the population density of Australia. Now, Danny said the population density of Australia is 5 times greater than the population density of New Zealand. He's actually incorrect. It's actually the other way around, and it's actually more than 5 times bigger. So the population density of New Zealand is actually more than 5 times bigger than the population density of Australia. And if we actually look at the question, the population of Australia was 5 times greater than the population of New Zealand, so that's probably his mistake. He's probably just looked at the populations rather than the population densities. So let's write that down. And I've just written, no, he's not correct, and the reason is the population density of New Zealand is 5.687 times larger than the population density of Australia. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So question number 9. Okay, let's have a look at question number 9. So question number 9 says, last year the population of an island was 8,000. So 8,000 people lived on an island last year, and the population density was 1.6 people per square kilometre. This year the population density has decreased to 1.57 people per square kilometre, and part A asks us to work out how many fewer people live on the island this year. So what we've got here is we've got some information to do of last year, and then we've given a bit of information about this year, and then we're asked to see how many fewer people live in the island. So if we have a look at the information we were given last year, we were told the population of the island was 8,000 and the population density was 1.6 people per square kilometre. Well, we can use that information to find the area of the island to begin with, and then that might help us then with this year's information. So let's find the area of the island. So let's take the population, the 8,000, and divide it by the population density, the 1.6, because there's 1.6 people per square kilometre. So if we divide, we can then see how many square kilometres there would be. So 8,000 divided by 1.6, and it's a calculator question, and whenever you divide, you'll get that's equal to 5,000 square kilometres, or 5,000 kilometres squared. So that's the area of the island. Now we're told that this year the population density has decreased to 1.57 people per square kilometre. So that means that if we were to share the population out equally, there'd be 1.57 people per square kilometre. So that means that there'd be 5,000 lots of 1.57 people on the island. So let's take our population density and multiply by the area to find the population. So 1.57 multiplied by 5,000 is equal to 7,850 people. So that's how many people live in the island this year. And as you can see, the population of the island has gone down from 8,000 down to 7,850 people. And we're asked to find out how many fewer people live in the island. So we're going to do 8,000 take away 7,850, and that's equal to 150. So there's 150 fewer people that live in the island this year. So let's write that down. Okay, and part B. Part B gives an assumption that we've made in part A. Now, if you have a look at part A, we have used the same area, the 5,000 square kilometres for last year and this year. Now, the area of the island may not necessarily stay the same. Perhaps due to rising sea levels, it could have maybe decreased. Perhaps have reclaimed some land. We weren't actually told any information about the area, so we've made the assumption the area of the island has stayed the same between last year and this year. So let's write that down. So part B, I've written the assumption that we've made in part A was the area of the island has remained the same. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. Question number 10. Okay, let's have a look at question number 10. So question number 10 says, a county is made up of two regions, A and B. And we're told that region A has a population of 58,000 and a population density of 480 people per square kilometre. Now those two bits of information, the population and the population density, will allow us to work out the area of region A if we need to, so we'll keep that in mind. Let's just read the rest of the question. Region B has a population density of 125 people per square kilometre and an area of 222 square kilometres. So we're told for region B the population density and the area. So if we wanted to, we could work out the population by multiplying the population density by the area, and that will tell us the total population for region B. So again, that might be quite useful. And we're asked to work out the population density for the county. Okay, so we're going to need to work out the population density for the county. So the population density is equal to the population divided by the area. So we're going to need to know for the whole county, if we want to work out its population density. So if we want to work out the population density for the whole county, we're going to need to work out the population of the whole county and the area of the whole county. And then once we know those two bits of information, we can then work out the population density for the county. So let's look at region A. So region A. So for region A, we know its population and we know its population density, so we can find its area. And that's going to be useful for working out the area of the whole county. So let's find the area of region A. So to find the area of region A, we're going to divide the population by the population density. That'll tell us how many square kilometres there would be. So for region A, we're going to do 58,000 divided by 480, and that's equal to 120 0.8333 and so on square kilometers. So that means it's 120.83 reoccurring square kilometers. So we've got the area of region A. Now if we have a look at region B, so let's write its area down. Area equals 120.83 reoccurring square kilometers. And if we have a look at region B, we know its population density, so we know in each square kilometre, if the people were all spread out equally, there'd be 125 people in each of them. And we know how many square kilometres there are, there's 220 of them. So if we multiply 125 by 220, we can find the total population for region B. And that'll be useful because that'll be helpful in finding the total population of the county. So let's take a 125, the population density, and multiply that by the area, which is 220, and see what we get. And that's equal to 27,500 people. So that means the population of region B was equal to 27,500. So we've been asked to work out the population density for the county. So for the county, we want to work out the total population. So that's going to be the population of region A was 58,000 and the population of region B was 27,500. So if we add those two together, that will tell us the population of the county. So let's do our 58,000 plus 27,500 and see what we get. And that's equal to 85,500 people. So that means the population of the entire county is 85,500. Now we want to work out the area of the county. So we know the area of region A is 120.83 reoccurring square kilometres. We know the area of region B is 220 square kilometres. So if we add those two together, we can find the total area of the county. So 120.83 reoccurring plus 220 is equal to 340.83 reoccurring square kilometres. So we know the population of the entire county and we know the area of the entire county. So if we divide the total population by the total area, we'll find the population density for the county. So the total population of the county was 85,500. The total area for the county, the total area of the county is 340.83 reoccurring square kilometres. And whenever we divide that, we get, so that's equal to 250.856 to 3 decimal places, So in other words, that's 250.856 people per square kilometre. And that's the population density of the county, 250.856. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at question number 11. So question number 11 says the population of a country is 2.4 times 10 to the power of 6. And the area of the country is 2.5 times 10 to the power of 4 square kilometres. And we've been asked to work out the population density of the country. Now to find the population density, we share or divide the population by the area. In other words, we get the number of people that live in the country, and if we were to share them out equally into each one of the square kilometres, we then find out how many people would be in each square kilometre, and that's the population density. So we need to divide the population by the area. So our first approach is just to use the standard form button on the calculator, so type 2.4 and then the standard form button, then to the power of 6, and then divided by, and then I tend to put these in brackets, 2.5, and then standard form button again, and then to the power of 4, and then press equals, and then that would give you the population density, and that would be equal to 96. So the answer would be 96 people per square kilometre. Another approach would be to write the numbers out in full and then do the division, but I would be tempted to do using the first approach just because in case I make a mistake writing them out in full. But if I was to write the population out in full, it would be 2, 4 and then 5 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the population of the country is 2.4 million. The area of the country, 2, 5 and then 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3. So the area of the country is 25,000 square kilometres, and you could do 2.4 million divided by 25,000, and again you should get 96. And you get that's equal to 96. So the population density of the country is 96 people per square kilometre. I would be very careful writing them out in full just because in case you put an extra zero on or forget to put a zero on and so on, it might give you the wrong answer. So I would probably use this approach or do both. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. Okay, let's have a look at question number 12. And in question number 12, we've been given a table and it shows us information about the areas of two counties, County A and County B. The area of County A is 2,000 square kilometres and the area of County B is 2,500 square kilometres. And we're then given a ratio, and the ratio says the population of County A to the population of County B is equal to 2 to 1. So that means that the population of County A is double the population of County B. For every one person in County B, there's two people in County A. And we've been asked to work out a ratio. We've been asked to work out the ratio of the population density of County A to the population density of County B. So let's start off by finding the population density of County A and County B. So we know that the population density, so to work out the population density of each of the counties, we would take its population and divide it by its area. So for County A, I would take how many people there are, and I would divide it by 2,000. For County B, I would take its population and divide it by 2,500. Now we've got a bit of a problem. We don't actually know the populations of County A, and we don't know the populations of County B. So let's let them equal something. So let's take the population of County A, so the population, let's add another row on our table, so population, County A and County B. Now we know the population of County A is double the population of County B because the ratio is 2 to 1. So I'm going to call the population of County B X to begin with. And that means that the population of County A would be double that. So that's going to be 2x. So because we don't know what they are, we just let the population of County B be x, and then the population of County A would have to be double that, so it's going to be 2x. So now we can work out the population densities. So the population density of County A, so we take its population, which is 2x, and then we would divide it by its area, which is 2,000. So the population density of County A is 2x over 2,000. Now we can cancel that down, dividing both the numerator and denominators by 2. So the population density of County A would be x over 1,000. So that's the population density of County A. Now let's have a look at the population density of County B. So we would take its area, which is x, and we would divide it by the area, which is 2,500. So the population density of County B is x over 2,500. So we've worked out the population density of both counties in terms of x. Now let's write that as a ratio, like we've been asked to. So the population density of County A, well, it's going to be x over 1,000. And then a ratio to dot dot, and then the population density of County B is x over 2,500. So we've now got this ratio, which is the population density of County A to the population density of County B. Now let's rearrange it just to make it look a bit tidier. So first of all, we can divide both sides by x. So we can divide by x and divide by x. So whenever we divide both of these by x, we'll be left with 1 over 1,000 to 1 over 2,500. So that's great. We've got rid of our x's and we've got a number to a number, but it still looks quite messy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to multiply both sides of the ratio by 2,500. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2,500 and see what we get. So multiplying this side by 2,500 would give us 2,500 over 1,000, because if you had 1 over 1,000 and you multiply by 2,500, that would be equal to 2,500 over 1,000, like so. And on the right hand side of the ratio, we had 1 over 2,500. We're multiplying it by 2,500 over 1, and that would be equal to 2,500 over 2,500, which would just cancel out to be 1, because 2,500 divided by 2,500 is 1. So that's great. And then on our left hand side, we had 2,500 divided by 1,000, so 2,500 divided by 1,000 is 2.5. So our ratio would be either 2.5 to 1, so that's a nice ratio. The population density is 2.5 to 1. Alternatively, we could write that as our answer, 2.5 to 1. Alternatively, you could double this to get whole numbers, so doubling would be 5 to 2. So I would probably write either one of those two ratios, 2.5 to 1 or 5 to 2. And if we go back up to look at our question, it doesn't actually ask us to give it in a particular form, so I would use either one of those two answers. And that's it. So these have been the video solutions to the population density practice questions. I really hope you found them useful. If you do need any extra help on population density, if you watch video 384A on Corbettmaths or scan this QR code, that'll be really useful. If you have found this video useful, please like it and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay, thank you. Cheers. Bye.